Hey everyone, thanks for joining us again for another episode of Ask the Expert North Texas. It is our podcast that happens every day, Monday through Friday here on KRLD. And today's date, Wednesday, April 20th. I'm Kristin Diaz.
I'm David Rankin. Thank you so much for staying with us as we head closer and closer to summer. You know, one of the things that we do in the summertime that everyone that has lived in North Texas has to have done at least once, and that's visit our friends at Six Flags Over Texas in Arlington. On Ask the Expert today, we are joined by Sharon Parker. Now, Sharon Parker has been with Six Flags for a long time, and she just received a new title. Good afternoon, Sharon. Tell us about this new title.
Oh, wow. I think it still gives me goosebumps every time I say it, but I have recently been appointed the general manager for Six Flags Over Texas.
Fabulous. And for our listeners, give them a little bit of your background and why this is so special to you.
Sure. So I think, when you're looking at this position, you don't think let me say it this way, didn't think that a girl like me from Fort Worth, Texas, who graduated with a radio, television, film degree would end up having this opportunity. But there's a bigger path and a bigger plan for all of us that sometimes we're not aware of. And when it hits you hard, and you just move full steam ahead. So started off in journalism, much like you guys. I think there's a few that work at your station that remember way back when we worked together. From there, went to TV and then transitioned into the wonderful world of PR and kind of climbed the ladder at Six Flags Over Texas and have now had this opportunity.
Now that you're the general manager of the place, you're making the decisions, running the show. What's it like? What does the general manager do at a major tourist attraction?
Yes, and the way I like to describe our operation is we're a mini city. We have a governance board. We have a safety team, a security team, a loss prevention team. And we have a maintenance team that has mechanics and engineers. So when you think about it at that depth, thanks, David, for making me break that down. I'm slightly overwhelmed. But the day-to-day operations, I keep tabs on those and make sure that our team is well equipped to do what they do very well. One thing that the team that I've had previously knows is I let people do what they are already experts at, and I just try to find ways to help highlight that they're trying to achieve. So it is a matter of empowering them, giving them the voice that they need, and playing the bad guy whenever necessary, and helping them to be successful, because their success is my success and the company's success as a result.
Speaking of empowering and success, you're making history as the first Black woman to have a role in the entire company. How does that make you feel? And how do you hope to be able to continue this path for others?
Yeah, I think, it's mixed emotions. The candid emotion is it's 2022 and this is history. But then the other side of it is I'm beyond humbled to have been blessed to have this opportunity. And it's something I certainly don't take lightly. I have an 8-year-old daughter whom I tell, the sky is the limit. And now I have examples that I can show her. And it's not just me. There are others that, I proudly say they've paved the way in their own different ways and helping me have this opportunity that I'm having. I've already received just personal notes from young females that I've watched and have encouraged along the way, and how they've said that this just helped them be even more motivated. And, I feel like that's my role right now is not just to motivate the team that I work with, but also those future leaders that I'm hoping will think about me and take care of me one day when I'm no longer able to do what I'm doing.
Let's talk about Six Flags in this upcoming season. How different is it going to be this year than the last couple? Because we've had to deal with the pandemic for so long, and now you kind of get to open things back up full
Sure.
on, don't you?
Yes, we do. And, one thing that we noticed, we were fortunate enough to be able to operate during the pandemic. We did have some regulations that were put up on us, and we followed those above and beyond that was asked by the government. But one thing we noticed was that the demand was there. And what we did was we provided a safe opportunity for guests. We are proud to say that we had no cases from guests who came and visited. And what we also noticed was that there were ways to make the guest experience even better. We, as many entertainment venues, have gone completely cashless. It helps expedite the transaction, but it also makes it easier for the guests. They don't have to wonder, do I have enough cash? It's just a matter of which card am I going to use. We have offered a streamlined entry into the park. And so it's those sort of things that we noticed during the time of trouble that actually worked to our benefit, both during that time and beyond. We've taken that evolution and we've just decided that we're going to take the process that we use to get guests in and open up that entire entry. So David and Kristin, I don't know when's the last time you've been out to the park, but I can tell you that the entrance experience is completely different. And we're so proud of it. It's just part of a beautification effort that we've launched this year and are looking forward to continuing it beyond this year and see what comes in the days ahead.
Absolutely. I mean, this year is probably going to be the biggest year coming out of the pandemic, where there were a lot of hardships just for, a lot of different types of business. Every industry was, basically untouched by, the pandemic, right? And learning a new way of life. But
Right.
one thing that we have heard, unfortunately, are some tragic stories with different amusement parks across the nation. And how does that affect business here in North Texas, and how crucial is it to make sure that guests feel safe when they come to experience all of that Six Flags has to offer?
Well, Kristin, one thing that I can assure you is safety is our number one priority, and it's not just a PR spill. It is something that we live and breathe. Our maintenance division is some of the top notch, not just in the company, but in the country. We have people that come and seek our advice on how to move forward with operating our rides. Our guys take great pride in everything that they do, and their inspections of the rides, it is multifaceted. So not only do we have a local check, we have state checks that we implement and ask. We have third-party inspectors come in and check our rides on a regular basis. But anytime our rides are operating, you can know that it has been checked multiple times, and that the redundancy safety measures that are in place, they're in place for a reason, and we stand by those. And sometimes it could be a little bit of a disadvantage for the guests, because it may take you just a little bit longer to be able to enjoy that first drop on the ride. But I can guarantee you that you will appreciate it when you're coming back in from that experience, knowing that not only were you able to enjoy it, but you were able to do so safely.
One thing about Six Flags over Texas is, for those people that are still new to the area, may not have experienced Six Flags yet, it's always been so exciting to find out the new attraction that
Yeah.
Six Flags has every year. So what's new in the park this year?
Oh my. So we have a few this year. We have the Texas Sky Screamer sled experience, and that allows you to do your best Superman impersonation 400 feet in the air. So you are free flying, looking at the Arlington skyline. Kristin, your reaction is my reaction. And let me tell you, that is one that I have told the guys, I'm good.
You haven't tried that one. Oh,
I have not, and I will not. We also have the seats, and I will sit in the seats all day long. I love going up there and just kind of taking it all in. It is a nice reprieve. But, it's a completely different experience when you're laying on your belly 400 feet in the air. So there's a reason why it's called a superhero pose. But we also have Pirates of Spelunker Cave. That ride will be opening up, or I should say reopening next month. And it is a nod to our beloved cave ride that opened up in 1964. And the characters that were featured during that time are spelunkers, and they will be making a reappearance. They have a different journey this time than what they did before, but it's so great. I'm so excited about that one. Probably more so than the third ride that will be opening. And this is a rare opportunity to have 3 ride experiences at Six Flags Over Texas, but we do. Aquaman Power Wave will be opening up in the middle of the summer. And that one is the first of its kind in North Texas. It is a water coaster. And that too will be a great experience and a great reprieve during the summer heat too.
Yes, we definitely need that. You know, now that you're in your new position, we as customers, we get to experience all of this stuff for the first time, but it takes months in planning, I can only imagine, and meetings and actually having to go see these, these rides before you even consider bringing them to your park. So are you excited about being part of the process of building the future of Six Flags?
I've been fortunate enough to be able to sit alongside some great brain trusts to take this all in. So me segueing into this position, it just allows me to, I guess, be a little more vocal and not as apologetic. But it is great to be in the room and continue to be in the room, I should say. To your point, Kristin, like Aquaman Power Wave, that's been a project that's been 3 years in the making, but it was discussed well before then. We're already talking about, what is year 2024, 2025 going to look like? In order for us to stay in that competitive realm, you have to look that far ahead. But the meetings, I can tell you that I wish we had a little less of, but I understand the importance of it. I think everyone can relate to that one.
Since space is at a premium, of course, at Six Flags, if you're bringing in new rides, there are going to have to be other rides that do close down in the future, though, right?
No, not necessarily. I think what we're looking at, and I think what is true is the labor demand. So labor is going to continue to be top of mind in a conversation. But in terms of our opportunity to be able to run the rides, as long as the labor is there, then they will be fully running. So we are making assessments on what is the most popular ride. I think that's a fair thing to say. And just making sure that we're putting the best product out there for our guests, not only from an experiential point of view, but also just from a labor point of view.
Six Flags has such a special meaning in so many people's hearts, their families, memories,
Agreed.
Traditions, and to be. What does Six Flags mean to you? All the years that you've spent there, and what's the special place it holds in your heart?
I'm determined not to get emotional because my eyelashes need to stay on for just a wee bit longer. But this is one of my favorite questions whenever I'm asked. Unfortunately, it's not enough times. If I would have discovered this place sooner in life, I would have been here. I absolutely love my job. Even the bad days are good days, and it's because you're surrounded by people that you not only care about, but care about you and care about the work that we do. We don't take lightly the responsibility that we have in not only keeping people safe, but that they're making an investment to come and have a good time, whether it be with their family or with their friends. And the fact that they chose us is something that we take to heart. So our goal is that we deliver every single time. We don't always win, but what we say is it's not about the mistake, it's about the correction that happens. And we're teaching kids. So we have to, it's a great opportunity to help them be future leaders and learn hands-on the importance of not always being right, but being willing to correct your wrongs and admit those wrongs and do what you can to make it better.
The Six Flags company has several different amusement parks all over the country. Is there competition among the parks, different kinds of friendly competitions between you and, say, Georgia or California?
Or Fiesta, Texas, down I-35? I mean, I'm just saying.
Is there?
There is, David. I'd be lying if I didn't say, but it is friendly. I adore the park president that's down there, Jeffrey Siebert. And I have had similar career paths. And so, we relate to one another quite well. But when we see them have a really good weekend, of course we say good job, but then we're like, man, how did they beat us in this? So what are they doing that's making people more excited than what we're doing? It's a nice ribbing fun, but it's something that that we're always doing. And we always say California is just on a different playing field, and so it's like there's everyone else, and then there's California.
Awesome. Branka, did you have any other questions?
I did, but
Go ahead.
one of the other things is you've been at Six Flags for a while now. Are there still nuances and secrets that you're still discovering about Six Flags even after all this time?
Okay, David, I'll let you in on a trick. Well, not a trick. I'll let you in on something that I had not even confessed to the guys because my pride would not allow me to. I got lost in the park the other day. I was taking one of the back areas, and I was like, I was for sure I knew where I was going. And the next thing I knew, I was like, nope, this is a dead end. And so then I went to the left, and that was not it. And lo and behold, sometimes you just have to keep going straight, but I was determined to make a turn. So to answer your question, yes, there are still nuances. And we internally tend to call ride names by the manufacturer names, or by, if they get renamed, then we will call them by the name they were prior to the rename. So at times I get tripped up on which ride we're referring to or which ride should be called what. But that's one of the things between me and the maintenance guys, and they love giving me a hard time about it anytime they can.